Hello, welcome to this week's reading vlog. I figured, oh, Benny's here. Benny's here. He heard me say hello, so he must also say hello. Isn't that right? Let's fix your bandana. God looks so handsome. God looks so handsome for everyone. Anyway, Benny and I thought we would give you, oh now he's exploring the table. You have grass all over you, my son. All over you. Were we rolling in the grass? Okay, so Benny's gonna let you see his tail and like this portion of him. That's about it right now. Oh, and Baguette wants in on the action too. Okay, so everyone is just gonna be here, and that's how it is. Guys, okay, we're actually not gonna stand on the table. We're not gonna stand on the table. I know it's your favorite place. Okay, so I figured we'd start this week off with a little bit of a library haul because that really is going to dictate what we're reading this week. Once a month or so, I like to go through my want to reads on Goodreads and then put as many of those as I can on hold at the library. And that way I'm like not missing any new releases, or I can get in line for releases that libraries ordered them. I can get in line even before they come out. And then also I go back and find any books that maybe aren't new releases that I had added to my want to read for whatever reason. So last night was my once a month-ish going through and adding a bunch of stuff for hold at the library. And these two books, they must have just been on the shelves in the library because they were ready for pickup today. So the first one is Stars in Your Eyes. And I remember when this came out, I had my eye on it. I think it was a book of the month book that I didn't get, but that I was kind of interested in, and then I just kind of forgot about it. It is about, okay, so Logan Gray is Hollywood's bad boy, a talented but troubled actor who the public loves to hate. Maddie Cole is an up-and-coming golden boy adored by all but plagued by insecurities, and they're cast as the leads in a new romantic film. And so to create positive buzz, the two are persuaded into a fake dating scheme. And I love a fake dating scheme. It's so fun. Yeah, I'm gonna pick that guy up. Probably I'll pick this one up first because it looks kind of fun, goofy, lighthearted, Hollywood fake dating. The other book I got is also gay, which wasn't necessarily on purpose, but like, hey, we're here for it. This is A Darker Mischief by Derek Millman. I think this one came out rather recently, July 2024. So that's really cool that I got it so quickly. The synopsis says, what would you sacrifice for the deepest desires of your heart? When Cal Ware wins a scholarship to an elite New England boarding school, he's thrilled to leave his past behind. Back home in Mississippi, he was a poor queer kid who never fit in. But at Essex Academy, he'll be able to reinvent himself, or so he hopes. His classmates only see him for his cheap clothes and old iPhone. They mock his accent. Can't believe he's never heard of the Hamptons. But he finds an unlikely champion in the handsome, charismatic, and slightly dangerous Luke Kim. As they get swept up in the mystery and glamour of the rush process, oh yeah, there's secret societies. Cal finds himself falling in love for the first time. So secret societies. Now this is YA. I don't think Stars in Your Eyes is YA, but I know this is YA. Boarding school, dark academia. Feels great for fall time, September. Back to school, dark academia vibes all the way. So excited to pick that one up as well. I am trying to read, I read a lot of queer books, and I'm trying to not read queer books written by passably, if not straight, white women. I just don't think that they have the voice that I want to be listening to when it comes to these stories. And so both of these are not written by white women, and that's exciting for me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna definitely start with Stars in Your Eyes and then go to A Darker Mischief, especially as it's just starting to get chilly. So it's like chilly at night and in the morning, but it's like 85 now. So I think, give it a few more days and we'll be like steadily going into fall. So that will be perfect for that. The other, technically library haul, the book that I'm listening to on Libby right now is book 3 in the Veronica Speedwell series, which is called, I never know what they're called. I just say Veronica Speedwell 1, 2, 3, whatever, because they all have almost the same names but a little different. So this one is A Treacherous Curse. I'm about an hour into it just from my commute today, and I think this one is gonna have some ancient Egypt vibes. That's always really fun, and I just really love Veronica as a character. I think she's so fun. So I'm listening to that audiobook, and then I also got from Libby for Kindle an ebook, Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater, which I don't know that much about. I think it's fae, and I think there's like something to do with fate, something along those lines. I've heard it's very cozy and very fun. I like a good like cozy romantasy, like Emily Wilde. That's like peak book for me, like a cozy, like I don't need balls to the wall spice in my romance. I mean, it's fine, but I prefer like a cozy, nice romance. So I think maybe in an hour or so, maybe take the dogs on a walk when it gets a little bit cooler, listen to more Veronica Speedwell. Right now I'm probably gonna loaf on the couch for a good hour and watch TikTok and YouTube and, you know, just kind of vegetate, and then I'll probably start Stars in Your Eyes tonight. So that's my plans for the night, and I'll check in with you guys later. Bye. Hello, Baguette and I are here for a little update. Last night I read, hi puppy, yes, you can come too. Come on, you gotta jump up here though. You gotta do it on your own. He's grumbling at me because he's on the floor. And I'm saying, jump up into this chair. And he's grumbling at me because he doesn't think he can do it, but he can jump up into this chair. He just has to do it himself. Anyway, so yesterday I read to about page 150 in Stars in Your Eyes by Kacen Callender. And I think I said when I first introduced this book that this was going to be a silly goofy good time because it's Hollywood actors fake dating, adorable. And it is to an extent silly and goofy, but there is also a lot of talk of abuse that happens to child stars, which definitely a very serious and real topic. I do think that the life of child stars, child actors, is a lot of time really abusive and a terrible environment for kids to be in. And so one of our characters, the one that grew up famous, we're kind of getting bits and pieces that his past wasn't as shiny and glamorous as we thought it would be. And then the other character, Maddie, the one from Georgia, he has a lot of internalized homophobia because he grew up really religious and his parents don't really, well, his mom is like very accepting. She loves him. I don't know if she's accepting of him, but she loves him. And his dad is just very, like, doesn't talk to him anymore, basically. And so this book does have a lot more depth to it than I think I was expecting at first glance. That being said, this is an adult book. And it definitely is adult. There are some like sexual scenes and such. But it reads very, I don't want to say it reads, no it does. It reads pretty YA in the sense that it's dual point of view, but it's first person. It's one of the ways that I often describe the difference between YA books and adult books besides just the content, but when it comes to specifically the writing style of YA versus adult books. Adult books will often give you hints and let you make your own conclusions about things, whereas books for younger readers, they give you those hints, but then they also really lay it out for you. So like if it's, you know, if there's a mystery in an adult, you know, you're really only getting, you know, bare pieces of the plot or of the mystery and bare clues, and you have to put them together yourself. Or, you know, the twist that is coming, you might see little bits and pieces of it, but the idea is that you as the reader need to put your own thought into it, whereas in younger books the author kind of will really hold your hand into it. And I think that's one of the main things when it comes to writing style for me in an adult book, why it could feel like YA. For example, in the From Blood and Ash series by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Poppy tells you how she's feeling every 30 seconds. And she doesn't leave anything to the reader to interpret for themselves or to try to figure out themselves. Poppy will sit there in her head and think about everything in a way that really is like guiding the reader along step by step to each conclusion that the author wants you to reach, which is fine. But I do think that it does make me at least feel like the book is meant for a younger audience than maybe the content is alluding to. And I'm getting that vibe with this. And I think that's one of the reasons I was able to read. I mean, I think I read this 150 pages in an hour and a half. Like, it read so quickly. And I do think it's because of the writing style. It is very introspective in the way that, like, nothing is being left out for the reader to deduce. That being said, I still think it's a really good time. It's really fun, but it is kind of like a disconnect to me anyway between the writing style and the content. For example, like this paragraph, he's probably, so they're fake dating, right? So he's probably mixing up reality with this act. That happens a lot. It's the reason so many actors fall in love on set and then break up the second filming is done. He's becoming too comfortable, deciding that he cares about me when he doesn't even know me. So what? He figured out I like to be an asshole on purpose and suddenly he's my friend now? If he knew the real me, he'd leave me in a heartbeat. So this is like one of the characters thinking about like their growing relationship, friendship, whatever. And it really just like lays out every little aspect of what he's thinking in a way where their thoughts show you exactly where the plot is going. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the writing is like very simplistic in a way that makes it very fast and easy to read. So I'm not like mad at it or anything. I just think it's, you know, the stylistic choice and maybe something to know when you go into it. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. I'm probably gonna finish this up tonight. One of the roommates and I were either gonna go to Ulta or Target, need to pick up some moisturizer. And other news, a few other things to tell you about. Look what came in the mail yesterday, Somewhere Beyond the Sea. T.J. Klune's new book. It's the sequel to House of the Cerulean Sea. I really love T.J. Klune. I've read all of his books except for, I haven't finished the Wolf series. Also the one about superheroes, if that makes sense. There is a little Nautilus show. But yeah, I think maybe unpopular opinion, my favorite book by him is actually Under the Whispering Door. I think a lot of people, The House in the Cerulean Sea is their favorite. I know Mary's favorite is actually the puppet one, In the Lives of Puppets, which I think that's nobody's favorite except for her. The other thing is I'm about 70% into the third Veronica Speedwell, A Treacherous Curse on audiobook. And oh my gosh, I just have so much fun with the Veronica Speedwell books. I think I just really love Veronica and Stoker's relationship. They're just so fun. Their banter, the way they interact, it's just like the perfect friendship slowly growing into relationship. I love how she teases him and makes him blush, and it's so cute. And I also just love like a nerdy, strong woman. She reminds me a lot of Emily Wilde, who's like one of my favorite protagonists of the last few years. So I think I really just love like scientific women. What was that? Oh, was that your bee? Oh my gosh, did that scare you? That scared me. He squeaked his toy and I thought something bad was happening. So that's all for now. I'm gonna continue reading Stars in Your Eyes, and I probably won't update you until I'm done unless something like crazy happens. But yeah, we'll see. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hello, it's currently Sunday afternoon. I finished Stars in Your Eyes Friday night, and then I didn't read anything yesterday. I kind of took a break from reading, but I figured I just got home from Trader Joe's and Benny is thoroughly inspecting the groceries. So I figured I would go through my thoughts on Stars in Your Eyes and also do kind of like a little bit of a grocery haul / put away. I don't go to Trader Joe's very often, so when I do, it's like always an event and I get my favorites. And since it's fall, they had a lot of really good pumpkin and squash and things like that. I can go through those really quick, and then also maybe you guys can help me cook dinner because I'm gonna make like ravioli lasagna. That should be delicious. Okay, so the first thing, the sweet potato gnocchi. Guys, these are so good. I got 2 bags of them. Also, they call these Half Moon cookies the black and white cookies. I love black and white cookies. I go feral for them. But yeah, Stars in Your Eyes. I gave it a 4-star rating on Goodreads, but I do think it's more of like a 3.5 for me, and I do really think that really goes down just to the writing style. I think it felt very young to me, even though these characters are supposed to be in their 20s, just the way they were thinking through things, the way that like every little action and thought was written out on page just seems to be very young or like fan fiction-y in my mind, which I'm not saying that's bad. It does make the story go like very quickly. And I did read it pretty quickly. I think I read it in like 3 sittings. Every time I sat down, I would read like 100 pages at least. But I think that did kind of take away from the story for me, especially when we're talking about these deep topics like trauma, childhood trauma, drugs, sex addiction, you know, things like that. I just feel like when your characters read quite young, I don't know, it just didn't like feel right to me. But I did like their story. I liked how it ended up, and it was very readable. Back to the groceries. Picked up so many dips today. We got the vegan tzatziki dip. Love this, especially with these vegetable samosas, because I love my samosas with like a yogurt sauce, and this is like so good with it. The triple layer hummus, guys, if you haven't tried this, this is so good. It's like Mexican, traditional cilantro, jalapeno, and spicy. It's so good with like carrots or tortillas or anything like that. It's delicious. Got some boursin and everything, and the elote. This is a really good dip as well. It's like corn, deliciousness. What else do I have here? Okay, so they have these corn and cheese arepas, and arepas are Colombian, if you don't know. And Lena is Colombian, and her mom makes arepas all the time for us. So we were like, there's no way these are good. So we got them kind of to experiment. I also got the pumpkin gnocchi. For the ravioli lasagna, I'm gonna do, it's like a vegan recipe, so I got the beefless crumbles. And I know what you're thinking. What are the dietary restrictions going on in this household? Listen, just don't ask. No, I'm kidding. I am like vegetarian adjacent, but basically I like try not to eat meat, but like if I am at a restaurant and they give me a chicken quesadilla instead of a cheese quesadilla, I'm not gonna send it back. I'll just eat it. If I'm at someone's house and they cooked meat for me, I'm just gonna eat it. I'm not gonna waste food, that kind of things. Okay, so we got the vegan spinach and cashew ravioli for the lasagna, but I also got butternut squash ravioli and the cacio e pepe. And you're also like, why is there a lot of like vegan cheese? That's for Lena. She's lactose intolerant, so she does and can't eat cheese. She's just in pain afterwards for a while. So to lessen that, we're going through the world of cheese alternatives. I also got the butternut squash mac and cheese. It sounds good, but it also sounds gross. And that's one bag done. Now the other bag. This bag is more of fun things, I will say. Got some French sliced bread. Oh, Lena wanted to try these. The maple kettle corn. I got pita bread, pita chip, mostly because I got 3 dips. I was just craving some pineapple, so I got some pineapple. We got, the cinnamon bar blondie mix. This looks really good. I love me a good blondie. Always have to get some fun beverages. So I got the Italian blood orange soda and the sparkling berry lemonade. I also got some good spreads. So I got the cookie butter. I used to be obsessed with this. I haven't had this in a long time. So I was like, oh yum. Got maple butter, which the only ingredient in this is maple syrup. I think it's just whipped maple syrup. So it might be a little too like strong for me because I like maple, but I don't love like a lot of maple. So maybe I'll actually add that like to butter and make like dilute it, I guess, a little bit. Got some pasta sauces. I got the autumnal harvest creamy pasta sauce. Probably eat this with the pumpkin gnocchi, and then just marinara for the lasagna. Oh my gosh, the cinnamon bun spread. Guys, this is so good. This is like the filling in cinnamon rolls and the spread. It's incredible. And they only have it like in the fall. And then tortillas and carrots. That's what we got at the grocery store. I guess that's it for now. I don't know if I mentioned, I finished the 3rd Veronica Speedwell, the audiobook. That was really good. Loved it. Very excited for the 4th one. I think the 4th is when they finally get together. Very excited. And I've started on audiobook This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings. I'm like an hour in. I don't know, the vibes are pretty cool so far. We're like in the 1920s in Harlem. There's vampires, they call them reapers, and that's about all I know so far. I will check in with you on that. I'm also gonna start A Darker Mischief, I think is the other library book that I got. So I should start that today. I might not, because I do have some other things I need to do. I need to do some paperwork and edit a vlog, which might take up my whole evening. So we'll see how things go. I'm gonna get started on the ravioli. I mean, It's a very rainy Wednesday, and I kind of want to wrap up this vlog in the next day or so. So in order to do that, I think I'm going to not really talk about A Darker Mischief too much. I'm 30 pages in. Honestly, I might DNF this. I'm just kind of not really vibing with it at the moment. I think it's like the voice, the character. It's kind of like a whiny teenage boy, which isn't my favorite. But I'll probably give it to page 50, maybe 100. But I'll talk about that, I think, at a later date. What I do want to talk about, and what I will probably finish and then cut this vlog off, is my two digital books that I'm reading. Well, an ebook and an audiobook. The audiobook I'm about halfway done with is This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings, and I think this is a super, super fun take on a YA vampire tale. I think this is really fun. We have our two main characters, Elise and Layla, and it takes place in 1920s Harlem in New York. Elise comes from this like very powerful family of vampire hunters, or they call them reapers. The vampires are reapers. And Layla is a reaper, and they have like history. Like they grew up together before Layla was turned. And so there's some weird things happening in Harlem, some weird murders, and so Elise and Layla are teamed up together to try to figure things out. And there's a lot of tension. They both like had crushes on each other before everything went down when Layla got turned. So there's a little bit of like tension, but it's really cute. One thing I will say about this book is the way that it's handling race. I like it. I think it's not shying away from race relations in the United States. The Reapers, so there's still the black and white divide, but then there's also the Reapers who are like also separate and also segregated. So we both have like the factual history racism that we're dealing with, and then also this kind of like allegory for racism that we're dealing with. So I think it's like an interesting take. That being said, I am 50% in. I will say it feels a little bit long-winded at some points, but I also don't know what would be cut out. The other book that I am just over 50% in, and I am loving it. Oh my gosh, Half a Soul. Guys. This book has me giggling, kicking my feet. I'm obsessed. I love it. So we have our main character, Dora, and when Dora was young, she was attacked by a fairy, and they took half of her soul, and it's kind of left her a little weird. She doesn't feel things like normal people do. She's very blunt, very to the point, she's autistic coded, and everyone else kind of doesn't know what to do with her. And then we have Elias or Elias, I'm never quite sure. I think I've heard both, but he is the royal magician. So it takes place in like Regency England, but there's magic, and he is also kind of like off-putting, and a lot of people don't like him because he's like disgusted at the display of wealth that comes from upper society, where so many people are like starving and dying in workhouses. He like hates it, so he's like very rude to people. And Dora's cousin wants him to find a cure for her, and so they kind of keep running into each other in Regency England, and they spark up a friendship and a little bit more. And there's also this like mysterious plague that's affecting the children in workhouses, and Elias is like very like stuck on curing it, and it's like stumping him, and that's like awful for him, and Dora's helping him out, which is really nice. One thing that I absolutely love is that, so Dora is autistic coded, and everyone in her life is trying to fix her, trying to make her normal. And Elias comes in and he's like, yeah, I'll help you. But also he very much is meeting her where she's at. One of their first kind of conversations, they talk about how she feels things, and he gives her the words to explain how she feels emotions in a way that no one has ever given her before. And then we see her using those words throughout the rest of the book. And like last night, I literally read this quote where he was like, you might have half a soul, but you're not half a human, or you're not half a person. And it's so lovely. It's just so lovely. I'm loving it. So I think the game plan for today is to probably finish both of those and do a little wrap up here. And then I think a Dr. Mischief is gonna be pushed into next week. It's not bad, I'm just like not really feeling it. And that's fine. So yeah, it's super, super rainy out, but I love it because it's fall and I want to be cozy anyway. I think I might be really naughty though and stop by Dunkin' on the way to work because I haven't this week. And sometimes you just need a coffee out. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hello again. Time to wrap up this vlog. I've got butternut squash ravioli about to go into some boiling water. Got some Stiegel Radlers in the fridge. And I've got all the books for this vlog read, except for A Darker Mischief, which I have decided to DNF about 60 pages in. There's nothing wrong with it. I just think that I'm not in a mood to read about pretentious high schoolers as a 26-year-old. But yeah, I mean, it started very interesting. It did come out with like a punch at the beginning. So I think if a high school secret society dark academia book sounds up your alley, give it a shot. I just don't want to read about teenagers at the moment. So that's A Darker Mischief. We'll be returning that to the library. The other two books I finished This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings, and I think I'm gonna give it like a 3.5. It was good. It was a solid YA vampire book. I thought it did some really fun things with the genre. I thought it was just different enough to make it stand out. I thought it was really good. I thought the main characters are both really fun, convincing. I thought the setting was really cool. I think my main issues with it is that it was a little bit too long, and I think the plot was a little too convoluted at times, where I would read things and be like, wait a second, what? And have to go back and kind of piece things together. I feel like the author was trying to do a little bit too much maybe, and we didn't need everything to be as complicated as it was. But I had a really good time, and I'd probably pick up the next one, depending on when it comes out, if it gets good reviews, if I'm interested in it. I feel like I haven't really been reading a lot of vampire books lately, and yeah, it was solid. The other book, though, the winner, I would say, of this vlog is definitely Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I thought this was so delightful, so fun. I'm sure I've given the synopsis, but we're following Dora, who has half a soul because a fairy stole it, and this leaves her a little bit odd. She doesn't really know how to, voice her emotions. She doesn't know how to feel things. She doesn't feel things like other people do. And this, magician that just falls head over heels in love with her, which is just, I love kind of a nerdy, introverted, shy girl, or like a little odd, and a guy that's just obsessed with her. I absolutely love that, very like Emily Wilde and Wendell, where everyone else is a little off-put by her, but he's just obsessed with her. I love that dynamic, and this definitely had that in spades. It was very short, easy to read, can't complain. I know it's a trilogy, and I was looking at the synopsis of the second one, and I don't know, it didn't really sound that like appealing to me at the moment, so maybe I'll pick it up in the future at some time. But definitely not going to do it right now. My water is boiling. So yeah, I think this was a pretty productive reading vlog. I think I read 3 books from the library and DNF'd one. And I've already picked up, I think, 4 more books from the library, which I will hopefully get to this coming week, and I will tell you all about those. That's gonna be it for me this week, guys. We'll see how long this takes me to edit, because I still have a back vlog to edit as well. Benny, would you like to say goodbye? Say goodbye, everyone. I'll see you guys later, and as it becomes more fall time, more spooky time, we're gonna be getting into some really good reads lately, so stick around so we can discuss all the best fall books. And my water is now really boiling. Oh my gosh, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.